You're listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast, celebrating hunting dog heritage, competition, and community. United Kennel Club has been the hunting dog sports home for coonhounds, beagles, retrievers, pointers, cur, feist, and more for over 125 years.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. This is Trevor Wade. I'll be hosting today, and I'm joined by Alan Gingrich, the Director of Hunting Ops. How you doing, Alan?
Very well. How about you?
Good. We finally got some rain out here, huh?
Yeah, finally. Everything's drying up so bad around here.
Yeah.
I can't remember it being this dry in a lot of years.
Yeah.
Usually when it starts drying up a little bit is usually a little later in the year, July, August maybe, but man, this year in June, we didn't get much rain.
Right.
So yeah, I was glad to see that.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of the story everywhere. All the events I went to the past few weeks, so dry, but a little bit of rain. This should hopefully help some tracking conditions for some hounds the next few weeks.
Hey, that was what I was thinking yesterday on the way home. I said, you know what, this is going to be a good night to grab some dogs, go out and turn them loose. And yeah, we're not ready for any trials yet. I can tell you that. We need some more work.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get bogged down in the weather, but I don't know if outside you can't see 100 yards in front of you for some reason. It's so hazy or foggy or whatever it is out there. It's just a little strange out there right now. But
what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to start out with the next big major event on our UKC Coonhound major event schedule, and that is the 2023 Youth Nationals.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's coming up. By the time you listen to this, will be inside of 3 weeks, I believe, before it gets here. And this is going to be July 21st and 22nd.
That's a Friday and a Saturday.
That's right. And this is the 23rd annual event of Youth Nationals. It started back in the early 2000s. And it's kind of obviously we have a lot of state championship and breed youth-specific championships, but this here is the one that UKC administers. And we actually crown 4 national champions on this weekend here at the Youth Nationals event.
Yeah, I think one thing that's cool about that is going back to the history of, you talked about the start of it. You know, some of the guys that competed in it, folks might be surprised. Some of the folks they know now that have done very well in the sport, you know, that used to come to Youth Nationals and actually placed in it. You know, Nick Brady is one of them, a well-known name in the coonhound world, you know, and he is placed in the Youth Nationals, and now he's had a kid here a couple of years ago that is hunting in it. Things like that is just cool. We see a lot of parents now have their kids in it.
Yeah, you'd probably be surprised if you were to sit down and go through some of the past youth magazines and seeing some of the winners and how that was a jumping off point for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know, further back than the early 2000s, there may not have been a great place for youth to get involved in the sport in such a way where they're competing against people their own age, maybe a little more comfortable there than jumping right into the big handlers. But it's actually, I think these youth programs have turned out really well, and they've kind of catapulted people into really successful careers with dogs.
They have, and they have really helped a lot of kids, you know, kind of a entry-level type of platform, or hunting against kids and handling dogs against kids, their own skill set, own age, and I think that helps a lot of kids, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of get over that. Unlike, when I jumped in, it's
We didn't have no youth.
No,
youth hunt, huh?
No.
Yeah.
Huge. I remember my very first night hunt, and I remember it was intimidating.
Yeah.
It was intimidating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, well, this year I'm excited for it to go to Elizabethtown, Kentucky. It's going to be hosted by the North Central Kentucky Coon Hunters Club, and they're actually having it there at their clubhouse, which is they have a great facility by all accounts. It's there. They have a building. They have everything you need. Plenty of shade, plenty of parking, and it's supposed to be a really nice facility.
Very central located as far as in the center of a lot of the coon huntings of the sport, I guess, so to speak. And we've been there before with our World Championship, and good byways, a big town there, a lot to do around there.
Yeah,
we've had the World Hunt there before.
Yeah,
Fort Knox is there, not far from there.
I got you.
At the World Hunt, we went there and visited Fort Knox. Played golf there, actually.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
That actual address, and you can get all this from the event ad and on our web calendar that's in the magazine. It's on the website, but the address is 479 Coon Hunters Lane, so that should be easy to remember.
Yeah. Hard part is going to remember the 479.
That's right. But I thought it was interesting. Kentucky, they're always in the top of our number of, most they have successful hunts there, obviously, and shows high entry numbers. They're always the leading state on number of TOC qualifiers and world qualified dogs. First time ever that youth nationals has
Yeah.
been in the state of Kentucky, which is interesting. Maybe it has to do with the time of year. Oftentimes, if you were to look at where it's been at in the scope of things, usually in more Indiana, Ohio area, maybe a little cooler, a little further north. But I don't think you can find anywhere too cool in the last weekend in July, or the third weekend in July. There.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's pretty warm that time of year, about anywhere. And I have been to a couple of youth nationals that have been very, very warm. The two hottest events that I can remember was Oklahoma was one of them. The first time we went out to, it was actually on the Missouri side, I believe, there at the Seneca.
Yeah.
It was hot that weekend. Yeah. But the first one I remember was so warm was in Madison, North Carolina. I remember Saturday there we had a big tent outside. It was at the Dan River Coon Club, same place where they have Southern English Days.
Right.
Same club. It was like over 100 degrees under that tent. I was so worried about these. Yeah, a lot of these kids are hunting dogs that are maybe older, and some of them are not in the very best of shape, maybe just older dogs, not hunted all that much. I was concerned about that, but we didn't have any incidents or anything like that. So, but yeah, kids are tough.
They are. They're resilient.
Probably tougher than we are in some cases, and some of those old dogs are pretty tough too.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, yeah, you mentioned Madison, North Carolina. That's just talk about the numbers of where it's been real quick. I thought people might find this interesting. Been in Ohio and Indiana 7 times each, and in North Carolina and West Virginia 2 times each. I think both of the West Virginia ones have been here within the past 6 or 7 years, just more recently, where it was in Madison, North Carolina twice over like a 4-year span a few years back. Right. And then glad to add Kentucky to the list here with Missouri, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee that have hosted it 1 time each. And not only is the host club really excited, but the whole state of Kentucky is excited to have this major event there, this major youth event there. They always have a really successful state youth championship right after Autumn Oaks every year. I know they're always going around and hitting up the vendors at Autumn Oaks, getting ready for their youth championship. And the whole state puts a lot of effort into the youth, and I think that they're going to put a lot of effort, and there's a lot of excitement around this event being there in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, you and I spoke with one of the club officers, or club member anyways, I think at one of the breed hunts here like a month ago, maybe Redbone Days, I think. And you could tell they're excited to have it. And yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, not only the local area and the host club, but also I had a call just recently from Doug Johnson, who's the president of the Kentucky Houndsman Association. They're going to be there set up, telling about the Kentucky Houndsman Association and what they do. They're a really active state association.
They are. They're kind of a model.
They are.
Yeah, they are a model association. Sure are.
Yeah, and I hope to squeeze out some time to talk with Doug, maybe for an episode of this podcast, and talk about what they do in the state of Kentucky and spread some of that information.
That'd be great.
Other state associations to hear kind of what they're doing there. They're really successful at what they do, and they're good at what they do. But they're there. They're going to be trying to get. I think he was trying to figure out how to help advance the event, whether they give out prizes or something there. And it sounded like also the state DNR is going to be there, so they'll have a presence there to answer a lot of questions. So it's going to be a neat event.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, it gets started on Friday night. Friday is only a night hunt. It's a licensed night hunt. It starts at 7 p.m. Deadline. That's the deadline to get entered. $10 entry fee, and it should be a 90-minute hunt.
Yeah. For all these 23 years, the fees have always been $10.
Yep.
That hasn't changed. 90-minute hunts. So an hour and a half, and you mentioned it was in Tennessee 1 year, and then when we were in Tennessee, it was pretty warm there too. And I remember the time we used to hunt 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's the first. It was really hot on that weekend, and I remember some parents were a little concerned, wanted to see about doing an hour hunt instead. As a matter of fact, the event organizers or the host club was really kind of pushing for 1 hour there. And I remember we did the 1 hour hunt on Friday night, and in opening ceremonies, I told the kids, I said, hey, let's do this 1 hour hunt this tonight, and tomorrow let's reconvene and let's get some thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts, and the next day there were some kids that they really wanted to keep that 2 hours, regardless of how hot it was. We were more concerned probably with the younger kids,
sure.
Yep. And but after that meeting, had a lot of kids spoke up about it, and I remember some of those conversations we had still, and that's where the 90-minute hunts were born. So we ended up with a middle of the road, and that's where the 90 minutes came from there forward.
I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've heard a bit of that story, but that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yep.
Well, hey, so for this one here, it's an open event. There's no pre-entries. We've taken all the entries that are on the grounds, and there's no qualifications that have to happen. You don't have to have
Right.
any certain amount of cast wins or to qualify at any events. Just go there and sign up.
Yep. Just be there. If you're between the ages of 5 and 17, you're eligible to hunt and show at the Youth Nationals. Come on.
That's right. And I real quickly want to mention who's going to be our master hound. That's going to be Jamie Eastep, one of our field reps. He's from Elkin, West Virginia. And you'd be hard pressed to find a guy who's more supportive of the youth over the past,
That's right.
2 decades.
He's been to a lot of events. He's had Drew he took Drew to a lot of those youth nationals before, and he's got a lot of experience with it, and he's been at a lot of them, and he'll be perfect for that role.
Yeah, I remember at youth nationals last year, we were in Ohio. We weren't too awful far from this place, and I got Mark Bair to do it, who was just down the road from us, and Jamie, he was hurt. He was like, I would have come and done it for free. So I went ahead and penciled him in. Kentucky's a little bit of the drive, but he is he wants to get out there and he wants to help the youth best he can. So we sure appreciate Jamie.
And he's great with youth too.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about the hunt format.
Yeah, you break it up in a couple different divisions based on age. So those are 5 to 12.
Yep, that's a junior division.
Junior division, and then the 13 to 17-year-olds, they draw out together.
That's right.
And that's the senior division. Yep.
The dog's titles or anything like that doesn't matter. All that matters is the kid's age who's entering the hunt. So
yeah, it doesn't matter if they're hunting a registered or champion dog. They're all going to draw out together based on the handler's age.
Yeah.
12 and under will be drawn against each other in the 12 to 17 in the other category.
That's right.
But what about the hunt? So we do 10 places still, right?
That's right.
On Friday night and Saturday night in the hunt.
We'll
but then you're going to combine those two, right?
To get our overall winners. That's right. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there soon. But yes, each night there we're going to be do a 1st through 10th place each night. So we'll do our Friday awards on Saturday, and award the kids with their placements, get their pictures taken, and all that good thing. And one good thing about this, and with a lot of our youth programs, it's kind of redundant at this point, but to shout out Ray Conrad with Bright Eyes Lights and the contribution he makes, everybody who finishes 1st through 10th in the night hunt, either on Friday or Saturday night, is going to get a brand new Bright Eyes light by Ray Conrad donated.
And they're going to like that. It's a good light too.
Absolutely. So that's kind of Friday night. Friday night is kind of the short night for us to get us ready for Saturday, which is kind of the longer one. So starting out Saturday, we've kind of moved stuff around a little bit. We did have the bench show stuff and seminar earlier in the day. I don't know. We weren't getting a ton of the hunt kids from the night before. Maybe this won't affect that any. I'm not sure, but we decided to push it back a little bit, give the kids more time to rest. And so that'll be starting later in the day. But the day's going to start out earlier with the host club's going to be doing some just kind of some yard games out there. They're going to have cornhole stuff going on. There's going to be other yard games, and also they plan on doing a squalling contest and a treeing contest from the sounds of it. So that'll be fun stuff. And kind of the UKC stuff gets started at 2 o'clock when we can start our bench show seminar, which has kind of been a great deal. The past few years, I've said it before, I've learned a lot from the bench show seminars, some really good judges up there interacting with the kids and giving a lot of good pointers. And this year, our bench show judge, who's leading the seminar as well, is going to be Kayla Cooper of Billingsley, Alabama. She's coming up and she's going to be doing our seminar and judging our show for us.
And she'll be good at it. She's very knowledgeable. She does a whole lot with her dogs. I don't think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody in the country that participates or puts her dogs in more different UKC events. I'm talking about not just water races, night hunts and field trials, bench shows, but confirmation and agility and hunt tests and just everything that we have. She has titles on her dogs that you and I don't even know what they are.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right. And she's taking this serious. I've had some conversations with her, and she's bringing some different materials. I assume she's going to have some sort of presentation put together, it sounds like. So it's going to be really instructive, and I can't ask you guys enough to be there and listen to what she says. You're going to learn a lot from it. Parents, guardians, if you're there, come by and swing by, and you may learn something from it as well. It's going to be good stuff.
And that's going to be at 2 o'clock on Saturday.
That's right. Immediately following the seminar. I don't know if it'll last an hour or not. That's a long time for a presentation. But we're going to do our Spotlight Series Award, which we talked about back on episode 57. We talked about our Spotlight Series standings, who finished where, and we're actually going to recognize those kids, the top 5 in each of the divisions in both the night hunt and the bench show segments. We're going to recognize them at 3 o'clock there after the bench show seminar. They got certificates, and the overall winners are going to get their goodies, and we're just going to recognize them in front of their peers while hopefully everybody's still there gathered, and we have a good crowd to cheer them on.
That's always a fun little deal to do that for those winners for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of Spotlight Series event, it's this year's started on June 1st as far as the Spotlight Series goes. There's been a few events already, but this is always a major kicking off point because it's one of the first double points events, if not the first double points event. I'd have to look at the calendar, but there's a lot of points that are going to be handed out this weekend, both in the night hunt and especially the bench show, because there's so many different winners with the age classes. So
you're going to get those points right in your age class already.
That's right. And this, so like I said, double points for night hunt cast wins and for winning your age class. So get out there for that. And then we have our non-licensed bench show. And we'll talk about it being non-licensed real quick. It's 4 p.m. deadline and a $10 entry fee. And it kind of switched over to a non-licensed. It's been in the past 6, 7, 8 years probably.
Something like that, I would say, yeah.
Yeah. And the way that it works now is each of the kids are drawn out not by their dog's titles or sex or age or any of that. None of that matters. You're broken up by the kid's age. So first we'll have in our 5-year-old handlers to come in and show against each other. We'll pick a winner to advance on. We give actually awards to the top 3 in each age class. Your overall 5-year-old winner is going to get a trophy. Second place is going to get a ribbon. Third place is going to get a ribbon. So on and so forth. And you're going to pick a winner from each age, all the way from 5 to 17.
And that's pretty cool.
It is. It's always fun seeing how they advance from 5 to 12, and then there's going to be some tough classes. Kayla's going to have her work cut out for her.
She will, but we mentioned the seminar, and the other thing that the kids want to be in the seminar, because she's going to talk about what she's going to be looking for when she's judging the kids. And you mentioned it being non-licensed. You're probably going to get into that in a little bit, but she is going to put a lot of emphasis on judging the kids, kind of like a 4-H thing more so than judging dogs. And she'll be judging the dogs to a degree, but just because somebody... It's not going to be solely the dog. A lot of it is going to be the kids' handling skills, So she's going to talk about what she's going to be looking for, and that's why the kids want to be there, so they hear that. And it's a fun little show to watch that. And the other things too is, and this is a good time to remind these kids again, you don't always have to have the best or the nicest looking dog. What you want to do is do your homework at home. Get your dogs to lead well and gait well. And trot, when I mean gait, you want your dog to not just walk, but you want your dog to trot. A nice little trot is what she's going to be looking for any show, when they do all the gating. But just things like that. Get your dog up on the bench and make sure it will relax and hold still. And you don't want a dog that just wants to jump off and things like that. But use the dog you have at home, and do your homework is going to get you far in the bench shows.
That's right. So kind of the way to finish off how the show works, 5 to 12-year-olds are going to come back after we're done with the 17-year-olds, and we're going to pick a junior national championship, a champion from that group of age winners.
Age winner will show against the other age winners, right? Yep.
And then the 13 to 17-year-old age winners are going to come back, and we'll crown a senior bench show champion from that. And honestly, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty of that stuff, like you said, she's basing it some on the handler and the showmanship side of it, some on the dog. But if it's pretty close, she's going to be testing your knowledge as well. I've been to a few of these shows, and she's going to be peppering you with a couple of questions. So, like Alan said, do a little bit of homework beforehand. Kind of be familiar with, I guess, gating techniques on what patterns you're going to be familiar with. What they call patterns, maybe be familiar with your dog's breed standards, especially the breed of dog that you're showing. Is a good idea to be familiar with their breed standards and their anatomy.
That's a good little secret to give the kids, read some of that stuff and like the breed that you're showing. You can go into the rule book or go online and look up the breed standards and look at what the history is behind your breed. You never know what she might ask you, but most of what she will ask you can probably find and you can probably read in those standards.
That's right. The anatomy of the hounds are right there in the rule book. She's not going to be asking you where their ear is, something like that. She's going to ask you some of the stuff and terminology that's directly from the
exactly.
The rule book.
Where's the loin? Where's the stop? Where's the hocks? And a lot of different things like that. Familiarize yourself with that. Learn that stuff.
Yeah. If you can just work on a few of those things, you'll be tough to beat once you get there.
Yeah.
At least be in contention. So. Well, we talked about each age winners. We talked about what they're going to get. They're going to get a trophy. We're going to give second and third in the age class ribbons. And then let's talk about what we do for their overall national champions. And they actually get a national championship trophy, and also they'll get an embroidered jacket also. We'll have to order it after the fact to make sure we have correct sizes, and we also embroider it with the kid's name and their achievement. So we'll get that information for the winners there and get that out to you after the event as soon as we can. And it's all a real good deal, and it's an enjoyable show, like you said. It's always a great time out there seeing the kids and the progression, and especially seeing kids advance from year to year as they attain more knowledge and just grow more confident. And
and I really like it. You know, when you have it separated with the younger kids and not showing against the older kids. You know, and they're just showing against the kids their own skill set. And yeah, we do have an overall junior, you know, where the 6 and 7-year-old class winners are going to have to show against 11 and 12-year-olds, but that age difference isn't the same as those kids showing against a 16 or a 17-year-olds. Yeah. It's just hard for them to compete against that. But in this, it's a pretty cool show to watch.
Yeah, and I guess while we're here, we're just to tie up the show portion of it here, we probably field a few calls each year about why is the show like this? Why is it non-licensed? You know, we'd like to earn points, that sort of thing. And I think the original intent behind it is for good reason. Not every kid has access to the same caliber of dog. You know, there's people in some parts of the country that have world-renowned show dogs right down the road from them. And they could come with 3, 4, 5 dogs that have won at Autumn Oaks in the world, and they could get up there and put really no effort into it, into training their dog or to, you know, bonding with the dog
or
and that sort of thing.
Working with them, right?
And could get up there and that thing skates perfectly, stands like a statue. You don't have to do anything but stand there behind it and smile. And then you have another kid who's kind of worked hard and to break their dog and just the quality may be different. You don't know, but I think there's good reasons behind why the show was implemented, and I think it works for this event.
Yeah, and the reason we don't license the show is because it's not they're judging more than just the dog, and not just the dog alone, you know, and that's it's more than just a dog show. It's really set up more like a 4-H type of deal. Yeah. But now the one thing it does do that's different from a regular show where a kid could go to their state show or what have you. They could show several different dogs. In this, they'll only be able to show one dog, you know, and then they'll show that one in the, you know, if they win those, they'll show that dog again. But here's a good question to bring up is, can a kid, let's say I have 2 kids, one is in the junior division and the other one is in the senior division. Can both of my kids show the same dog at the Youth Nationals show?
You can, and it's happened. We have, I can think off the top of my head, the Elburns are a good example. You know, there's a whole herd of them that are going to be there, and there's only so many dogs to go around, so it's not uncommon for one to be shown in the junior division and the senior division. So, so yeah, it happens, and nothing against that at all. So.
Yeah, now that would be just in the from the junior division to the senior division.
That's right.
Can't show the same dog twice in the same division.
That's correct. Yeah. Absolutely. And then getting back to the hunt after the
I don't know what they're going to do if both kids win the well, they'll never show against each other. Yeah, for the overall, right? Yeah. I was going to say that could create a problem, but I guess you won't even have that problem.
You'd have to arm wrestle for the win or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that kind of wraps up our show. That's 4 p.m. deadline, $10 entry fee there on Saturday. And then after the show's over, not too long after that, we have the night hunt at 7 p.m., $10 entry fee again, hour-and-a-half hunt, and night number 2. Like you said earlier, and we'll talk about how we crown overall winners now. Let's start out with the senior division.
But before we talk about that, I mentioned that they place in each night, Friday night's hunt and Saturday night's hunt. They draw out in the 2 different age groups, you know, the younger division and the older division, they draw out. But then their scores, they place 1st through 10th on Friday night and 1st through 10th on Saturday in those each of those hunts based on their score. And it doesn't matter from which division.
That's
those
right.
They'll place you're going to consider scores from both divisions.
That's correct.
To place in that top 10.
Yeah, that is correct.
But then for the overall, that's something different.
Yeah, so to crown, and it's a little bit different how we crown our senior division night hunt winner and our junior division night hunt winner. For our senior night hunt champion, we'll take the 4. We're going to have a final cast late on Saturday night after the first round first round's done and all the casts are back in. We'll first to make up our final cast of 4 dogs. We'll first take our double cast winners, with the highest scores combined.
Friday and Saturday nights hunts.
If we don't have enough to fulfill the 4, which we oftentimes do, but if we don't, then we'll go to single night high score cast win to finish out the rest of it. It's very simple.
That's just in the senior division. Now the junior division, you don't have a hunt off, do you?
That's right. Real quick before we get there, the rest of the senior division, and this is what they're going to be competing for. First place in the senior division is going to get a $3,000 tuition award, a national championship trophy, and an embroidered jacket. And second through fourth all get the same thing, actually, $2,000 tuition award and a final cast plaque. So $9,000 handed out there in scholarship money on that senior cast Final Four. A lot to hunt for that night. And like you said, in the junior division, we just recently made this change last year just because we used to have a final cast for the juniors, but you're talking about kids 5 to 12, and oftentimes they're younger. It's late. They've more than likely been playing all day long in the 90-degree heat, and they're flat wore out by the time that final cast rolls around, and they're dragging.
Little too much.
Yeah.
Little too much.
So we've decided just to purely base it off a score. So we're going to crown our junior national hunt champion by the highest combined double cast win, and if we don't have a double cast winner, then we'll go by the single night highest score if necessary. There's no lay round.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. And the winner, our junior national champion, is going to get a $1,000 scholarship tuition award and national championship trophy and an embroidered jacket. Good way to start out your quest towards your after high school, college, university, trade school,
what have you.
With $1,000.
Let's talk about that a little bit, about that continuing education tuition prize. It's a little different than most of them. It's a total of $10,000 that we divvy up, $9,000 to the seniors and $1,000 to the junior winner here. But we don't actually give them a check or anything like that at the Nationals. Let's talk about how that works.
Yeah. So each year we give out the $10,000 in our tuition awards. And the way it works is it's really simple. I actually just did it this past week. Judd Koshko, who won our 2021 Youth Nationals, emailed me in. He said, "Hey, I'm about to start school. All I needed from him was an invoice from his. I think he's going to lineman school. Just needed an invoice from the school that he's going to." I, in turn, forwarded it to our accounting department, gave him the information from his win and how much money he was allotted from his win.
Right.
And our accountant mailed a check directly to the school that Judd's attending, and there you go.
There you go. And they don't have to do the full amount right away or
That's
in one sum. They can do a partial, whatever it is that they would like, and we'll send that amount, and it can be in a couple different portions.
The one caveat you'll see on our event ad where it talks about the tuition prizes is it must be redeemed by the 21st birthday.
Right.
On or before then, if it's unused, it reverts back to the UKC Youth Fund.
And we do have several kids that have earned this tuition money that never did seek out any schooling after high school, and didn't take advantage of it. But it's a neat little thing for them, and hey, when those kids that earn those scholarships or that tuition money, we'll give them all the information they need.
Alan, we both had Dr. Pathfinder 2s now for a little while. What do you think about yours?
I'm liking mine. One of the things I had the opportunity to now download a map of an area where I did not have service, and I've used it there, and it has worked flawlessly. I love it.
Yeah, I love the crystal clear maps. I love that I never lose reception on my dog's collars anymore. Highly recommended by me as well. Dogtra Pathfinder 2, the official GPS collar partner of UKC. All right, well, let's move on to the next part of that. If you're looking at the Youth Nationals ad, the next part you'll see there is talking about our participation waivers. And we've tried to do a lot better job about this, covering all the bases. And with them being youth especially, it's important that we have a signed waiver for each individual. So that way we have consent to use them for media purposes. Obviously, we're going to have people there on site taking pictures or maybe videos of the events and that sort of thing. And those will be posted on our website. We want to showcase the youth out there having fun and that sort of thing. And then also there's just an entry waiver form that you'll find on all of our major event entries with just the regular verbiage that you'll see on all that stuff. And it's right there in the ad. It's on our website. It's on but we'll also have them printed out. We'll have a bunch of them there at the event that you can get signed while you're there.
Yeah, that's right. And that's a good thing, just to have everybody covered.
Yeah.
It's good for us, good for them, good for everybody.
So hey, we've been starting to get a lot of calls about Youth National. So hey, let's answer some of the stuff that we've been getting a lot of calls about.
Lodging
First thing is
lodging,
lodging,
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So with it being there at their clubhouse, they don't have any water or electrical hookups, but there is plenty of room for primitive camping, according to Mark Brockman, who's our contact for the club here, the one I've been dealing with directly. I asked him about local campgrounds in the area. He mentioned the KOA campground in Shepherdsville. It's only 24 miles away, so that may be an alternative for you. And then he mentioned camping on Nolan Lake, which is a little bit further. It's like 45 miles away, but it's supposed to be super nice, kind of secluded kind of place. So maybe an option if you don't mind driving a little bit.
Yeah, it depends on the family, It's like you said, the events don't really start Saturday until 2:00 in the afternoon. So you have some options there for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of Airbnbs. I know some folks like Airbnbs, in the area, and I'm sure there's some of those as well.
Yeah. Hey, it's a really busy area, Elizabethtown. There's a lot of food options. There's a lot of lodging options as far as hotels go. We kind of heard that the hotel situation may not be the best. I mean, it may be pricey for whatever reason.
Right.
Us UKC, we decided to go with an Airbnb. I think that's 20 minutes away from the clubhouse, and there's probably some areas around there just because there's so many. It's a bigger city, and also there's some natural parks and things around that would give people reason to have an Airbnb around there. So maybe an option for you. At least check it out.
Yep. Food is always another item that you need. They'll have food at the grounds. For a kitchen will be open while the event's going on at the grounds, but also the town. There's a lot of restaurants in town. It's a big town. E-Town's a big town, right off the main highway there, and I have all kinds of places to eat in town.
Yeah. Yeah, and besides that, they're going to have a couple vendors on site. I'm not sure exactly who. I think last time I talked to him, he said J.R. Gray is going to be there with his vendor business. You maybe come get. So maybe Willie will be there. I'll tell J.R. to bring Willie and get your picture with a world champion, something like that. But it's Elizabethtown is very centrally located, and it's very close to Louisville, which obviously is a big city. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and I know it's a long weekend, and so I decided just to jot down a few different activities that may happen. We're only 45 minutes away from Louisville. I asked Mark about some of the places around that he may recommend kids do. He talked about the Louisville Zoo, supposed to be a really nice zoo there. He mentioned the Bernheim Forest. I'm not familiar with that, but it's supposed to be a really nice natural park.
Yeah.
There's an activity center in Shepherdsville, which is halfway to Louisville, so it's a lot closer drive, and I think they have all the natural stuff, arcade and maybe mini golf and golf and go-karts and that sort of thing. So a fun afternoon event for a family.
I can get into some go-kart racing still.
Absolutely.
I'll race any kid that wants to race.
And I'm a baseball fan. I've been right there near Louisville, the Louisville Slugger Museum, and the history behind that organization would be really cool to go to.
Yeah.
And I added one here, Mammoth Caves. Nicole ECO said Lecky, who was our vice president, it's going to be here at Youth Nationals, and I guess she's already booked a tour for us to go through Mammoth Caves, which is 55 miles away. So give that a look. I guess I'll be looking at that myself. So, but hey, if you have any questions
there
about
goes
Youth
your
Nationals,
Louisville Slugger Museum, though.
Yeah, we're going to be spelunking instead. But hey, if you have any questions about Youth Nationals, about anything that we didn't cover or maybe we're unclear on for you, hey, just give us a call in the hunting ops department. Reach out to us by email or chat us in, and we can point you in the right direction. Any questions you have.
Yep. Mark your calendars, July 21st and 22nd, Friday and Saturday. Work on those hounds, get them out in the woods, get practiced up for it, and practice for showing in the shows, and get ready for a good time at E-Town.
Absolutely. Well, hey, let's shift gears a little bit. We recently went through our Coonhound Hall of Fame list on this episode. I knew that Youth Nationals would take a while to hash it out, so just wanted a smaller little segment here on the back end, and decided to kind of update our list. The last one we went through was from February, and we talked about how we were going to go through them as they got added. So this list is from May 24th, which is it was last updated on the website at that time, and we added a few dogs here. And first, let's talk about the two new Grand Night Champion Hall of Fame dogs. So these dogs got our Hall of Fame title in our Night Hunt segment, and that brings the total to 18 total Grand Night Champion Hall of Fame dogs, and a couple of well-known dogs here getting this final achievement for them here. The first one is Grand Night Champion Hall of Fame PR Sycamore Sandy HTX4. Sandy's a black and tan coonhound female, and she was born in June of 2015. Mr. Walter Buddy Carley of Lawley, Alabama owns Sandy.
Yeah, it seems like she is a consistent cast winner, just wherever he doesn't matter where at, whether it's North Carolina, Tennessee, or Indiana. Seems she is a cast winning fool, old Sandy there. So yeah, she's achieved the Hall of Fame, and good for Mr. Carly there. She is off of Grand Night champion Carly's Sycamore Mose, and Sycamore Screaming Maggie is her mother. And Cecil Carley was the breeder on record. 37 Grand Night champion wins here to earn that Hall of Fame title.
Yeah, Sandy, I know he had an issue with her around one of the major events. There was a reason he couldn't enter into either the TOC or the World or something. I remember talking to him.
I think it was the TOC.
She got chewed on by some house dogs. Was on a tree too close to a house or something. I think some house dogs came out, and she got chewed on a little bit and got roughed up pretty good. And I'm glad to see she's back, and she got her Grand Night Champion Hall of Fame title.
Hey, this next one's a cover dog here, one we've all heard of a lot.
Yeah, I'd say that he's a pretty familiar name for a lot of folks, and that's National Grand Night Champion, Grand Night Champion Hall of Fame, Redneck Backwoods Shack. Stream Walker male, born in February 2013, owned by Cheyenne Cummings of Seneca, Missouri.
Yeah, this dog is off of Redneck Mafia, a dog that was also owned and studded out there by the Cummingses. And Grand Night champion Rats High Country Ann is his dam, bred by Mr. David Greiner, I think from Oklahoma, I think David is. 37 Grand Night champion wins, earned the degree in March of 2023, Old Shack.
2019 Autumn Oaks National Grand Night champion. My first Autumn Oaks I got to go to as an employee at UKC. I'll never forget that hunt.
World final cast in, 2018, maybe 2019, something like that. 2017, somewhere in there.
Well, we had one dog make Grand Water Champion Hall of Fame for only the third dog to ever
Not Lee Hogan, is it?
Yeah, it is. Another Lee Hogan dog, and one that has a whole buku of titles here, and that's Night Champion, Grand Field Champion 2, Grand Water Champion Hall of Fame, Grand Champion 2, Hogan's Cujo HTX, a blue tick male born in July of 2018, owned by Mr. Lee Hogan of Rudolph, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it seems like we talked about him with one of he has a show Hall of Fame dog as well. But yeah, he puts his dogs in all of the events, field trials, water races, night hunts, shows, everything. But this dog is sired by night champion Meadow Valley Yodeler, and the dam is Grand Water Champion, Grand Night Champion, Grand Champion Hogan's Jazz HTX2, bred by Lee Hogan. 40 Grand Water Champion wins, earned the degree in May of 2023.
Yeah, we talked about Ruby a lot. She's actually a Grand Field Champion Hall of Fame and a Grand Champion Hall of Fame. And I hate to kind of put a spoiler alert out there, but it's not going to be the last time we say his name on this podcast.
Yeah, okay.
And we have no new Grand Field Champion Hall of Fame, still just the one Grand Field Champion, which is the Ruby dog. But we did add 10 new Grand Champion Hall of Fame dogs to our Hall of Fame show titled dogs. The first one here is going to be Confirmation Champion, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Creekside's Running Man of Woodwin. This is a black and tan coonhound male born in March of 2012, owned by Linda Pinchek, Mary Lynn Jensen, and Dennis Pinchek of Merritt Island, Florida.
Yeah, bred by Linda and Jan. 40 Grand Champion wins here, earned the degree in March of 2023. Now, I don't have the sire and dam listed for this dog here, but yeah, congratulations.
Moving on to the next one here, another dog that we talk about a lot here, Grand Field Champion, Water Champion, Confirmation Champion, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Soap Creek Mr. Moose Spot. American Leopard Hound male, born in January of 2021, owned by Chuck and Lucas Slattery of Spring City, Tennessee.
Yeah, Chuck has done a lot of winning with this dog, and the dog is off of Meeks, Georgia Cracker, and the dam is Meeks, Georgia Little Ginger. Bred by Mr. Lamar Meeks there in Georgia. 41 Grand Champion wins, earned the degree in April of this year.
2-year-old dog still, so still a lot of life left for that one. Moving on to the next one here, we got Grand Field Champion, Water Champion, Confirmation Grand Champion, Grand Night Champion, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Psycho Blue Spider HTX.
Lee Hogan again?
Well, the titles may give it away there. This is the blue tick male.
That and blue.
Blue tick male born in March of 2014, owned by Lee Hogan of Rudolph, Wisconsin.
Yeah, sired by a dog I'm familiar with. Confirmation Champion, Grand Water Champion, Grand Night Champion, Grand Field Champion, Grand Champion, Mad Dog Psycho Sid, and the dam is Grand Champion Rocky Hills Whiskey Lullaby, bred by Lisa Brooks of Wisconsin. 40 Grand Champion wins, earned in March of 2023.
We have a new English Coonhound on our list here. It's Confirmation Champion, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Southeastern's Kentucky Mountain Sweet Dreams. The female, born in June of 2016, owned by Rhonda Brown and Hunter Booth of Walnut Cove, North Carolina.
Yeah, Hunter Booth is a young handler from New York, I believe, is where he's at, and he shows a lot of dogs. Good little good handler. Dog is off of World Show Champion, Night Champion, Confirmation Champion, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Kentucky Mountain Diamond Cutter, the sire. The dam is Grand Champion White Rock Mountain Red Dixie, bred by Rhonda Brown. 41 Grand Champion wins total on the dog's record. Earned the degree in March of 2023.
Our next dog on our list here is Grand Champion Hall of Fame Diggy's Blue Ridge Mountain Rudy. He's a plot male born in January of 2020, owned by Katie Allison of Hudson, North Carolina.
Yeah, another world champion. This time a World Show Champion RG, or that is, what is RGCH?
Ruby Grand Confirmation
That's
Champion.
it. Grand Champion 3 PR My Dog I'm Calling Dibs HTX2. And the dam is Grand Champion 4 Confirmation Champion PR Suncrest Significant Promise. That was bred by the late Becky Church. 40 Grand Champion wins, earned the degree in March of this year.
Well, the breeds are kind of well represented here. We got another new breed. This one here is Confirmation Champion, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Circle C Sinister Karma HTX, which is a red bone. Female, born in March of 2013, owned by Megan Chadwick of Lavalette, West Virginia.
Yeah, this dog is sired by Magic Mountain Ruger, and off of Nutter's Mystical Rain is the mother, bred by Sarah Nutter. 40 Grand Champion wins earned in March of 2023. Sinister Karma.
Got a few different Walker dogs here to shout out. We got Emerald Grand Confirmation Champion, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Second Wins, Sexy and Silk. A Treeing Walker female born in June of 2018, owned by Beth Jenkins of Culpeper, Virginia.
Yes, out of a Florida dog. Second Wins Impressive Playboy, and the dam is Second Wins Destiny's Child, bred by Janice Hunter from Florida. 45 Grand Champion wins to date. March of 2023 earned this Hall of Fame degree.
Next, we got Grand Champion Hall of Fame Bowman and Starcher Locked and Loaded Mav. Treeing Walker male born in February of 2019. Owned by Jennifer Starcher of Long Bottom, Ohio.
Yeah, again, out of Second Wind's Impressive Playboy, and Second Wind's Amber Bach is the mother this time, also bred by Janice Hunter. 41 wins earned in April of 2023.
Jennifer Starcher's one, now that we're on the Youth Nationals, she's one that's competed at our Youth Nationals, did good there, and here she is with a Hall of Fame dog.
There you go.
Congratulations, Jennifer. Next, we got Grand Champion Hall of Fame Herlock's Slick and Wild Fly. Treeing Walker female, born in January of 2017, owned by Regina Herlock of Parker, Kansas.
Yeah, out of Water Champion, Field Champion, Grand Champion, Lunatic, Son of a Preacher Man, and the dam is Grand Champion Lunatic Super Hot Dot, bred by Kay Haley. Kay Haley was actually one of our judges that judged Youth Nationals several years ago. Was, I think, the second she judged the show, the second time we had the new format, did a great job. 40 Grand Champion wins on this dog here, Slick and Wild Fly, earned the degree in April of 2023.
And the last one we're going to talk about today is actually a new dual Hall of Fame champion, and that's Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Grand Night Champion Hall of Fame, Caldwell's Southern Belle HTX2.
Pretty impressive.
Treeing Walker female, born in March of 2018, owned by Mr. Phil Roberts and Kelly Kosh of Clarksville, Georgia.
Yeah, this dog is off of Dowdy's Etowah River Fat Boy and Dowdy's Etowah River Jenny, bred by James Dowdy. 40 Grand Champion wins to date, earned in April of 2023. Dual Hall of Fame show and the hunt.
Very impressive.
Yep.
A lot of running up and down the roads for Phil, but
yeah. So congratulations to all of these Hall of Fame owners and handlers, and very nice.
I just want to say real quick, hey, I appreciate everybody who came up to us both as we're on the road. You hear a lot about people talking about the podcast. They're enjoying the podcast, especially the rules segments. And this week we're playing kind of double duty. We're planning on taping another podcast this week where we're going to answer a bunch of your rules questions. We've been gathering up some of the different ones that you've sent in by email or maybe even in person or over the phone, and kind of putting together kind of a rule-specific mailbag, and I'm kind of looking forward to doing that. And,
yeah, me too. I like talking about rules, so I enjoy those questions like that.
That'll be one to bookmark and to do some studying on whenever you're heading to an event or something. But Yeah, we have a few different irons in the fire on the Coonhound side.
We do.
We've had some good meetings the past couple weeks about some new things, and I think we've got a lot of good stuff on the horizon. And I appreciate you guys tuning in with us. Thank you for listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. Be sure to give us a follow so you don't miss any of our new episodes or content.